Calling the November 4th, 2025 meeting of the Wakefield Conservation Commission to order. Our first order of business is a roll call. Jennifer,
Present.
Eleanor.
Present, but barely.
You don't look like you've been to these.
I'm probably going to shut off my camera shortly.
All right, that's fine. And I'm present, so we have all our members. And the first matter is approval of the minutes for October 14th and 17th and 21st. Any comments, questions, concerns about those minutes?
I think some of our discussions, and in particular, I'm talking about the 14th and the 17th were, I think, preliminary. I think we said some things in those meetings that we were sort of proposing but not deciding on, but that doesn't really come across in the minutes. So, I mean, I can offer edited language or.
Yeah, if you have suggestions on the language, Jennifer, that would probably be.
For 1014, talking about intermittent streams, I think specifically on that date, we talked about possibly I want to say a 25-foot buffer, 10-foot setback, and I think we ended up changing that. I think that was just kind of an idea, an initial proposal. So I might say like kind of discussing possible before that. Same thing with the vernal pool part of the 1014 minutes, discussing, and then the following part.
Rather than saying proposed language.
Well, I think the vernal pool part does say proposed language, so I think that's okay. Although in the 1017 minutes, I think it comes up again with vernal pool. I'll look again at whether 1017 says proposed language, but 1014 does.
Yeah. If you want to mark, just do a quick black line and send them over. We can just adopt them at our next meeting then.
Okay.
Hang on. Apologize. I was going to say in that 1014 discussion, we brought up exemptions, and I think Bill talked about drainage. There were a few things that were mentioned in the minutes. And so I put in language, maintaining, repairing, replacing existing sewers, drainage. Drainage, I don't think is an exemption in the Wetlands Protection Act, so we just need to look at that again. Excuse me.
However, we could exempt it from
the bylaw. Yeah.
The bylaw.
But
it would still come to, if it's not exempted under the WPA, it would still come to us then.
Yeah, we just have to look at that again.
Okay. And so basically it's the 14th that you're most concerned about, or you're also concerned about the 17th, Jennifer?
14th and 17th.
Okay, those were both the bylaw discussion meetings. I wonder if we should perhaps in future, just make sure that this is couched as discussions of possible language rather than being definitive in the language here.
I think that makes sense. I think sometimes some of our discussions have sort of taken on a life of their own outside of the commission. So not to be transparent, but to make it clear that we're still deliberating on these things.
Yeah, I think that the bylaws are, the bylaw is going to take some time yet before we get done with all of that. And that will include later this evening when I expect we'll spend a little bit of time on it. and also decide if we want to meet another, as another's separate meeting. So I think we will table the minutes tonight and come back to them next time. Jennifer, will you just do us a favor and propose some language then?
So I'll do that.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right.
And then I circulated edits on the 10:21 minutes. So you can take a look at that reflect some of our administrative discussion. And I can forward along the transcript. I don't think that got forwarded. So that was talking about the meeting being canceled. And, just making sure we keep our dates consistent on the draft and revert to the original draft. We could go through them really quickly if you want to. If you guys are comfortable, I can. Or we
Yeah,
could-
I have the minutes that came through originally, but I haven't found your edits, your suggested edits, Eleanor, so.
I thought Judy sent them out.
She probably did, and I just haven't managed to track them down tonight.
Okay. Do you want me to share my screen, or how do you want to do it?
You could do that. If you blackline them, that's probably the easiest thing.
Sure. Oh dear, hang on.
The other
Yeah.
The other option is just send them around again. We'll deal with them at our next meeting.
Okay,
Do it
let's
that way.
do that since we're 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
I have too many windows open.
Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's just address them at our next meeting. But circulate them again to well, at least to me. Okay. So we will hold on all three sets of minutes for this meeting and pick them up again in 2 weeks. And I would expect we should be able to approve them all then. Okay, so our agenda next. Next item then is DEP 313, and we're still lacking a number, XXX. Unless Ethan, did it come in? Has it come in yet?
Yes, it just came in this morning.
Oh. Okay. This is for Jean P. Marcelin, 17 Valley Street, notice of intent. Who's handling this for the applicant?
Josh Green from Homestead Consulting Engineers.
Hi, Josh. Given Ethan, I don't know what our process should be for something like this. It's kind of late to add the number on in the agenda.
We should be all set to work towards issuing an order of conditions now.
Oh.
I think last time we had this on the agenda, we reviewed all the plans, and then the commission may have made a site visit since then. That's correct.
Yeah, some of us did a site visit to the Valley Street site.
Sure.
But Ethan, the DEP sent technical comments,
Yes,
which
I saw those as well.
which you forwarded on.
Mhm.
Did Paul and Jennifer, did you have a chance to review those?
He hadn't seen those before the meeting tonight. I'm sorry.
So I can
Um,
briefly discuss them if you'd like me to. That'd be helpful.
Sure.
It would be, yes.
So the comments were predominantly having to do with topography, the work being within degraded area, and then I think there was a comment about mitigation. So one, I think the topography during the site visit was obviously well understood by anybody there. It generally slopes from the back of the lot to the front. It's relatively consistent with the exception of where retaining walls are. And then obviously flat in the driveway leading up to the road. So I'm not sure where topography is going to come into play here because of the uniqueness of this riverfront area in the sense that it is completely degraded downgrading of this property. You have Valley Street and a developed lot that is developed right up to the limit of the stream. So Ethan and I had talked actually prior to the first hearing about mitigation for this, and so it's a little interesting because there's no real value of habitat to put on the existing property within developed area. Valley Street and that developed lot down gradient really takes that away. So we kind of balanced on the best thing is to provide recharge. So we had proposed that dry well on the previous plan. It'll provide more recharge than existing conditions, and engineering took a look at it. The one outstanding comment they had was a test pit to be done, but due to topography in the retaining walls, they wanted to wait or agreed to wait until construction. So the points about topography and mitigation, I think, have been hammered out with Ethan. I think we've got it in a good spot for this, given the fact of just how degraded this riverfront area is leading down, or I should say downgrading of the property. So I think all those points that they mentioned were thought out to a degree and responded to after our initial plan.
Okay. So I'm looking at the DEP comment on the email from today, and the link. And they talk about the fact that plans are needed which show the existing and proposed topography, et cetera.
I'd yield. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I'd yield to the commission on the value of it. I think it is well understood by the commission members that were there. We're not changing drainage patterns. Grade would just be to the existing grade and retaining walls around the proposed addition. It's really to, the driveway is going to act how it does today. There's no change to drainage patterns, which is really the intent of asking for existing and proposed topography.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other thing though, that DEP then asks for information on construction means and methods. Have you provided that to us?
That's something that as engineers, we never provide regardless. It's just something that we're not supposed to do under our license. It's really for, a lot of times it's a pre-construction meeting. I'm sure it's the case with Wakefield, but if there was something related to that, the contractor would work that out with Ethan, head of the construction, but I can't speak to means and methods. I can't tell a contractor how to build something.
That makes sense. Ethan, how do you usually handle that?
I don't think that's something we typically look at unless we're right up against the resource area. And given this sort of location and surroundings, I think most of the comments we kind of addressed at our last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the process when DEP has these, I think we went to the site, we were fine, but certainly the riverfront standards are pretty strict. When they issue these comments and are requesting to see these things, what's what's the protocol? We can just ignore or,
The comments are more for the commissions to consider. They don't follow up with them afterwards. It's
Okay.
just a very first look at the project from what they see. So typically we have a better view of it being in the town, knowing the typical
Mhm.
projects we see and the sort of resources we have, but there's the very first step, technical comments.
Okay. And then is it an issue? Typically, we can't issue an order of conditions without the number. Is it an issue that we have had public hearings without the number?
Nope, that's pretty standard.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think that should be an issue for us.
okay.
I'm looking at this. All work is not proposed within existing degraded areas, and I guess I'd ask Josh to speak to that.
So we were able to actually get a survey crew out there because that was the one comment that we were kind of sitting there. That I believe on the site walk, you guys had raised some questions of whether the addition was going by one of the trees or not. I located the 3 closest trees to the addition. The closest one is 5 or 6 feet away. Granted, it's right at the corner, so excavation should be able to preserve it. If commission, if that's too close for the commission, I think I just recommend a condition on the order that if that tree does need to be removed for structural reasons, that they follow your mitigation policy to replace it. But otherwise, right now, as proposed, it is all within degraded area.
Okay. And I guess the last sentence, applicant must demonstrate compliance with performance standards on 10.5 under 10.58 paren 5. How do you propose to do that? Will you be?
So I believe the general comment for that one is mitigation. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a tough site to mitigate for because of the conditions. So recharge was our best when Ethan and I had discussed it. He would
Yeah,
certainly
you really don't have any access to the bank area to do anything in terms of stream bank mitigation, stream mitigation.
correct.
Yeah. So, okay. So the recharge basin, have you provided us with information on the volume that will take?
Yes, I provided a letter. I believe we agreed. It's actually been a little while, so I forget, but
Yeah.
it was 95 cubic feet that I think we based it on a certain percentage of new impervious. So that came out to be 95 cubic feet that we were
Mm.
required to, and the letter that we had submitted to the commission stated that it has storage for 110 cubic feet. So it does meet what we were asked to with a little bit more.
Okay. What's the plan on moving forward with this project? Is it going to happen this year or wait until next spring to actually get moving?
I know the builder was getting ready to ramp up on it. I'm guessing he's going to try to make a call. Obviously, we've got to wait for the order and then record it and all. So it's going to come down to see what weather is looking like to get the foundation in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jennifer, Eleanor, other questions or concerns?
I think I'm fine.
I might have missed it, but will there be erosion controls used during construction?
That's a difficult this one too. I apologize to keep using that excuse. We certainly could block off part of the driveway. The problem is most of the downgrading area is pavement. So it does flow that way. I certainly think that they could block off part of the driveway. It's just if I don't know what it was like on the Saturday that you went, but they do use that as parking now.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we can block off the entirety of it, but I think the contractor can use some erosion control to direct that on site to the best visibility. It is going to be a tricky one, but again,
Yeah,
I think that's a fair condition.
I think it's pretty essential that, especially given that the stream is across the road and further down gradient.
Yeah, I think that's a fair condition to include erosion controls. I mean, I'd recommend too, out of fairness, if there's a catch basin in the area that a silt sack's used, just to protect that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That sounds fine to me. We did talk about the tree policy, on site, and yeah, I think that makes sense that if you have to remove a tree, that it would be replaced.
Yes, you'd be responsible for dealing with our tree policy. Yeah. Providing replacement according to that. do we want to close this hearing then?
Is there anybody from the public?
I guess I'll ask that question. Is there anyone from the public here that wants to speak to this? I don't see any hands raised. So I would say not. I'd ask for a motion to close the hearing then.
Motion to close the hearing.
In a second.
Second it.
Thanks. All in favor? Jennifer,
Yes.
Eleanor,
Yes.
and I vote in favor to close the hearing. And then the next step is to authorize Ethan to draft an order of conditions that reflects the discussions we've had. I think we'd want to at least get a look at it after you've drafted it, Ethan.
Sure.
Yes.
That there's you know, been some complexity around the
Do we have to agree on any conditions? Should we go through them just quickly like we've done? Or we're gonna just have Ethan,
go through the blank form.
or we can have Ethan draft them and we approve it at the next meeting?
I
Let's do
think that would probably make more sense.
Okay,
Um,
I agree.
because otherwise we're just filling in the blanks, and I
Yeah.
think there may be some, given the somewhat unique nature of the site, there may be some additional language Ethan has to put in there for us to address the peculiarities, particularly around the retention basin,
Yep.
the drainage improvements that the applicant would be making in lieu of other measures. So I think I would suggest we proceed on the basis of authorizing Ethan to draft an order of conditions that we would review and approve at our next meeting.
Do I need to make a motion?
Yes, please.
Make a motion for Ethan to draft an order of conditions for the commission to approve at the next meeting.
And I guess I'd ask Ethan that you get that out to us at least with a week's
Yes, please.
Yep.
review time. Jennifer, can you second that?
Second it.
Thanks. All in favor? Eleanor?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Favor as well. So we should have an order for you at the next meeting, Josh, if that works for you and your client.
Sounds good to me. Do we normally have to attend for that? Do you want us in attendance or?
I
Also-
don't, I mean, unless you want to review the order of conditions on screen with us or something like that, which I doubt we'll be doing. I think we've got the order in draft in a week in advance. We'll send back any edits, comments, and have a consensus version, which we will approve at the next meeting.
Sounds good to me. Then I appreciate all the help, and Ethan's been great to work with. So thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, so that is our only live project tonight, because DEP 313652 pack cell storage is continued to the 18th. And DEP 313651 L&L development on Salem Street is also continued to the 18th, both at the applicant's request. So the next item is in other businesses, DEP 313585 610 Salem Street. And that's the request for a certificate of compliance. I think, Ethan, I saw that you circulated a excuse me. I'm dealing with the later stages of what you have now, Eleanor.
Yeah.
So Ethan, you did circulate
Mhm.
the certificate, right?
Yes. I believe we have Libby Wallace here from Hayes, if you want to walk us through the project a little bit.
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Good evening, all.
All right, Libby.
So let me share my screen and I'll walk you through this. All right, so, can everybody see this, plan that I have up?
Yeah, if you could zoom it one level in, it
Yeah.
might make it a little bit easier.
Good idea, good idea, so. Here we are.
Better. That's considerably better. Thanks.
All right, so this is, the property at 610 Salem Street. This is the one that's, on the Wakefield Linfield line directly next to the Saugus River. Here's Kimball Lane and Salem Street. And this is the apartment building here outlined in sort of yellow orange color. With a parking lot. Parking is indoor garage with drainage leading outside. We have a storm scepter and storm tech stormwater treatments. This is a level spreader coming out here towards the wetland. The wetland is right against the riverbank here. And there's a BBW in the back here in green.
Mm-hmm.
We do have plantings on the left side and right side and in front. Everything is landscaped. We have plantings in the back and a stormwater drain pipe strip in the back, taking the water and infiltrating it. This is all paved. The building is completed on the outside. They're still working on completing some of the units, but it's as I understand it's 95% finished with everything. Landscaping, as I said, is in place. Utilities and everything. I would like to point out that the order of conditions approved a slightly different design with regard to the utilities. At the time the order of conditions was issued, it was owned by a different entity. And by the time this construction project got going, this property was bought by the same owner as 580 Salem Street right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to tap into existing utilities and all on the 580 side. And I can show you the old plans. This is the 2021 construction plan, and you could see that there are various drainage facilities, some of which changed. In the original notice of intent, we proposed tapping into the sewer system in the street and modifying that. With the newer design, the sewer system comes out to the landscaped area here, goes across the condo drive, and goes to the existing sewer station next to 580 Salem. The same with the electric.
And then that discharges to the town sewers from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were a few changes, nothing extreme. The rest of the design stayed the same. So I'll just review our request letter, which lists some discrepancies and changes. So there are about 7 changes that we noted. One was the electric utility transformer box was relocated to the sidewalk adjacent to 580 Salem Street with the associated conduit relocation, and they put in some bollards around it. That's outside the buffer zone and riverfront resource areas.
Okay.
As I just mentioned, the sewer pipe and sewer water separator were installed in a slightly different configuration to achieve a connection with the existing sewer pump station at 580. That's outside the buffer zone and riverfront areas as well. The water service gates and fire service hydrants are slightly different from the approved design. The landscaping plan was changed. The present and completed landscape was accomplished utilizing a landscape plan called the Landscape Plan 610 Salem Street, Wakefield, dated 2020 and revised through 2021 instead of the landscape and river restoration plan referenced in the order. The 2 plans are not very different. We do note that some of the plants shown on the order of conditions referenced landscape plan were not planted next to the river, but that invasive plants such as the bittersweet vines were trimmed as allowed on the restoration plan.
When you say trimmed, do you mean removed or?
Yes, they were cut at the bottom and cut at a point above to disconnect the vines so that they don't grow.
Okay,
The upper part just dies off.
right,
So I used trimmed instead of removed.
okay. Understand.
But good question. Let's see, there were additional line of boxwood shrubs and mulch around the right side of the building where lawn had been proposed. So there's extra landscape shrubs. And we did note that 135 square feet of wetland in the rear was disturbed due to machines accessing the rear of the building during construction. The disturbed area was loamed and seeded with the wildlife seed mix specified on the landscape plan along with the adjacent access way. So that area was revegetated. The natural soil substrate is still in place so that the seeds in that substrate will grow back up along with the applied seed. Number 6, the crushed stone stormwater strip at the back of the building was installed in May and completed just this month with installation of the required perforated drain pipe. We did note that the type of piping was changed from cast iron pipe to plastic corrugated pipe. And that geotechnical filter fabric was additionally placed under and over the pipe to provide supplemental stabilization and stormwater filtration. And number 7, the number of interior garage parking spaces was reduced by 2, due to a slight configuration change in the garage. So that was it. And
Could we just, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so you've
Oh,
got
sorry.
photos. I was
Right.
going to ask you just to show us more about that number 5 item.
Number 5, let's see.
The
Oh,
disturbed
yes.
wetland area.
Yeah, I will switch back to the as-built plan. And
Right.
so the area we're talking about is this little triangle right at this little point.
Mm-hmm.
Wetland comes closest to the building.
Right.
And in coming back and forth during construction, they just sort of ran over it a little bit. As I said, the soil substrate is still there,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no doubt that it'll grow back.
And where are these boxwood heads that have been substituted now?
So the extra boxwood shrubs are right along this right side,
Okay.
along the driveway.
That's in addition to those 2 trees that are being put in there?
Yes.
Put in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are existing pear trees.
Mhm.
One of the 3 pear trees was transferred over to the other side, and this is that pear tree, and it's growing just fine. There were other small trees put in, little birches, a couple oaks, and a variety of other landscaping plans along the front and the sides. This access way here on the left has been seeded, as well as the back access area, and it's all sprouted and growing very well.
And that was seeded with
Conservation wildlife seed
conservation.
mix,
Okay.
with all sorts of native legumes and wildflowers and such. And the plan is to let that grow, but mow it once a year just to keep it under control.
Now, I'm going to presume that the boxwood that the developer used is not the native boxwood from North America, though.
I would presume so. Yeah.
That's
And
something I think we want to address in future orders, but this one goes back predating my time on the commission, so.
And
Right.
the pear tree, is that calorie pear, the invasive calorie pear?
I don't really know.
Okay.
These were there, for the longest time. This used to be a hardware store, and those
Okay.
went in when, I think when the hardware store went in, or at least when this condo in back went in. I'm not sure which,
Okay.
but they've been there. But we wanted to preserve this. We can rip it out if needed. And plant something else. I think it might be helpful to look at the photographs.
Mhm.
Sure, let's do that. I noticed you had those ready to show, so let's do that.
So here's the building. And you can see that it's very well grassed in front. Here's the paved parking lot showing the front of the building.
So substantial amount of the parking is under the building, which is why the plan looks the way it does with lots of parking striping on the plan.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
it looks odd at first,
Mhm.
which is why I did it in a bright color so that it jumped out. When you're just looking at the plan in
Right.
black and white, it's not that obvious. But, so, this building has 2 garages, one at the front and one at the side. And this is the side one.
Okay.
And you can see a bit of the landscaping here. This is a better view of the traffic islands being landscaped. And the parking lot is completed, striped. There's a catch basin here, and I've observed rainfall going directly in it. So I have confirmed that the grading is correct. Our survey confirms that the drainage is going correctly as well. This is the storm scepter here, and that drains out to the level spreader.
The storm scepter is a grit and solids remover.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Okay.
And here we are at the catch basin. You can see that the water drains directly in it.
Mhm.
And here we are at the paved entrance, looking across the street side of the building. The lights are in. The trees are in place. Lawn was done as a sod. They didn't seed it, but they sodded it,
Mhm.
and it turned out very well.
Is this building rental or is it condominium?
They're doing leases, so
Okay.
it's
So I would say it's a rental
it's a
property.
rental. Yeah,
So it's a single owner responsible for the maintenance then.
correct.
Okay.
It's the same owner that owns 580. It's a
Mm-hmm.
similar situation.
Okay.
This is the level spreader.
Outside the wall on the wetland side of the, or on the river side of the site.
Correct.
Okay.
And this is the fence on top of the wall. We just looked at the catch basin. The catch basin is right at the top of the wall there. This is the drainage pipe going into the level spreader.
So that comes out of the bottom of the, or the top rather of the storm scepter.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are looking on the left side of the building. We are looking at Salem Street. Here's that wall that we were just looking at. This is 611 Salem Street. And you can see that the seed is growing very well. And you can see the birch trees here. This is at the rear of the building. This is that stone strip that has the perforated infiltration pipe. And there are several shrubs planted in this area. You can't
What
see it.
drainage does that strip pick up? Is it basically taking water that's falling off the roof or overland flow, or what are we looking at there?
I believe it takes the roof drainage. There's no real catch system for the roof drainage. It just comes right down. So it'll come down and drain through the rock and then drain into the perforated pipe and just keep on infiltrating.
Okay, so it infiltrates from that pipe. That pipe doesn't discharge into either into the wetland or into.
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry.
Doesn't. No, it's just along the edge of the building.
Okay. So at some point, if the pipe is full, you'll have over surface flow.
Correct. Yep, this is the wetland here.
Okay,
And 3 of the little shrubs that were planted. Here's that perforated pipe that was buried in the stone swale there. So as you can see, it's just an open end pipe with slits in the piping itself, so that water dripping through the stone goes into the pipe and is kept there for a little bit, and then it drains down through the geofabric. And there's the connection to the overflow pipe.
now where does that go?
That goes directly, that takes drainage from the garage. If there's ever a overflow of drainage in the garage, it comes out here into the pipe as well.
So if the garage were to flood, the drainage from the garage would come out through this pipe into the into that perforated pipe.
Correct.
Okay.
And here we're looking at that rear condo and the right side of the building here. And you can see that this is all lawn in here.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the new bollards around the sewer station there. These are the boxwoods on this side. You can see the manhole here for the water sewage separator,
Okay.
and that connects into across the driveway there
To 580.
to 580. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Any comments, questions from other commissioners? Libby? Any
Libby,
other?
can you zoom back out? I had a hard time. I couldn't make it to the site this weekend because I was sick.
Sure.
So snow storage, I noticed on the conditions, order of conditions, it said 100 feet. I couldn't even tell. I guess you drive right into the building from the road, like underneath. Is that it?
Correct. You enter the parking lot from Salem Street, and you can go right directly into the building and park in the interior garage.
Okay.
And is
there's
there also an entrance to the right into the building?
There is. This is so there's an entrance here directly off of Salem Street,
Right.
and the other one is the one that you turn right and go directly in
there.
here.
Okay.
It's on the other side of the lobby where you enter. So I'm sorry, your question was?
Oh, sorry. So there was a condition for 100, sorry, no snow storage within 100 feet of the wetland. It looks like there's no outside parking around, is there? It's all under the building. So this is brilliant. It wouldn't be an issue.
Actually, I'll have to zoom in to show you. So the building itself is in this yellow orange color.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of an L shaped. Outside parking is in this little area here, just as you enter off of Salem Street.
Mm-hmm.
So snow storage would be within the landscaped areas. There's a strip of landscaping along the wall. There are various areas where it could be done. Let me see if the proposed plan shows exactly where it is.
Yeah.
So I know one of these plans did specify snow storage. So snow storage would be, oh yeah, so you can't read it, but
Is that more than 100 feet away?
Doesn't look it.
Okay, I couldn't.
so let's see. Where's that 100-foot? Here's the 25, here's the 100-foot.
Riverfront area goes
Riverfront
diagonally
area.
across your image there.
So would it be near the dumpster area? Or where were you thinking? Like where were they designated?
Yes, yeah,
The
yeah.
dumpster
So-
area is under the building.
They're not gonna
They're not gonna move snow under the building, I'm sure.
right, okay.
No,
So
but
it's basically
it's
the
going to
snow that
be,
would be removed from these 7 spaces on the left side here, as well as the 5 and 3 8 spaces to the right. That would be what needs to be managed. From
Okay.
what I read this.
right, it's, yeah, so this is the 100-foot buffer zone. So no, the snow storage is not outside of the 100-foot buffer, but it is within the parking lot. So it
So
would,
the snow storage is along the left side of the drawing here. On the inside of the wall, from what I'm surmising from the way the drawing's done. Am I correct about that?
correct, it's in this landscaped strip in here.
And then the wall, there's the block wall is to the left of that,
That's correct.
and then the level spreader
And
is
then the level
up-
spreader,
up
yeah.
there. Okay, that's what I thought.
So the snow would be stored in this landscape strip. And I'm sure they would,
And how far are we roughly from at that point from resources?
uh,
I see the 100-foot buffer.
this is the 100-foot buffer
DVW buffer. What about
and
river buffer?
the river buffer.
Okay.
So we're actually within the resource area, the riverfront resource area with
Okay.
this. This is the 25 buffer here, 25 feet from the wetland. The wetland are these little dots.
The wetland are the flags C7, C8, C9.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have colored it up.
And then so we're sort of in the snow storage is somewhere
It's
outside the 25-foot buffer, but within the 100 feet of the riverfront.
correct.
So it sounds like that would not comply with the order of conditions, right?
I would say if it calls for the snow storage to be outside, it's certainly not. So no, it wouldn't. But I don't think it makes much difference. I mean, the owner can actually remove the snow from the parking lot entirely if he needs to. But I would think it's sufficient just to have the snow stored here and on the other landscaped islands.
So just to the right of the word snow storage, there is proposed VGC. What is a VGC?
So that's the berm. That's a berm.
So there's a berm between the snow storage and the parking spaces?
Yes, there is. Yeah. This is where that catch basin was, and you saw
Mhm.
that berm there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an elevated landscaped area with plantings and mulch and all. So the snow would just melt through the mulch and all.
And it's on the inside of the wall,
That's correct.
defining the
Let me go
property.
back to the pictures.
Yeah.
I know it's very hard to visualize here. So that's a catch basin.
Yep.
That's the berm. That's the granite berm,
So it's a granite curb.
granite curb. Yep. And that's the landscaped area where the snow would go.
Can we go
So-
up? Yeah, let's look at that one.
Yeah.
That's an
So
easier image
this
to
is the
look
better
at.
one. So the snow would be just
Snow would be piled on that strip between the curb and the fence.
yes. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying. And this is the wall here.
And then the level spreader is on the outside of that wall. Is that
On
right?
the outside of the wall, yes.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay. So the wall is about, assuming those blocks are 6 or 8 inches, the wall would be 18 to 24 inches higher,
yes,
or is 18 to 24 inches high at that point. Although could be bigger than that. Those might be 12-inch blocks.
correct.
And is it impervious and impermeable there? Except for the penetration for the water flowing to the level spreader? The wall, I mean.
Oh,
I'm trying to understand, are we keeping the snow in? If we do something like this, well, they've done it already. I mean, it's definitely not consistent with the order. But if the snow is being confined on the other side of that wall and the wall isn't going to allow passage flow through it, it'll be confined into the parking area and the vegetated area adjacent to the parking, from what I can see here.
Oh, doesn't that look like a drain at the,
That is the drain. That's the drain
Okay.
that's coming from the storm scepter.
storm scepter, and the storm scepter receives storm water from the infiltration chambers that are next to the garage there. So everything's connected. The stormwater is treated. And you're correct that the block wall is impervious, so that everything is held within the parking lot. The landscaped area is just going to drain down and be held by the wall and be treated that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so it's going to be confined to the wall, which is slightly higher than
Landscaping.
mulch, and then the curb here will catch that. So it'll be all confined to this space here.
Libby, it's good to see you. I honestly, I'm struggling a little bit. I'd love to get the chance to see this in person.
Sure.
Sort of see the lay of the land and see sort of where the drains are and everything. I'm kind of struggling with, you know, we're new and we weren't involved, and trying to understand,
Looks like-
you know, why they felt like 100 feet for snow storage was significant. I mean, We-
Yes,
it's-
yeah.
it's a bigger distance than we've usually seen, and I just
I think we just threw that in because
I mean, and that's something we could look at and see, Paul, maybe, we're comfortable and we could amend the order. I just feel uncomfortable, doing a certificate. This is
Certificate when there's a substantial inconsistency like that, yeah.
right. And certainly,
Well, maybe we could do a site visit
yeah,
in the next week-ish. Libby, if you could arrange something for us to go see the site. I presume for Eleanor and Jennifer, weekend would be best.
yes.
right. I would like to, yes, so pick a day. I'm happy to be there with you, and Fabian will be there as well, the owner, and we can give you the whole dime tour, and you can look around and see what you think. I would like to point out that although the order of conditions does say the snow storage shall be more than 100 feet away, the plan that the Conservation Commission at that time approved did have the snow storage on that edge. So
while it's set 100 feet away, the snow storage was shown as it is here.
correct. This is the notice. This is the order of conditions reference plan.
Okay.
Mm.
But we
Then
can talk. We can talk about it.
I'll be away this weekend. Yeah, depending on the time, if it were on a weekday,
Starts to
it's so
get
narrow now
difficult
with it
to
being,
get any place in daylight on a weekday.
I know,
That's working
yeah,
out.
it's tough.
So I would say we could wait till the weekend after this. What's that, the 15th?
I could do that.
I can do that too.
Let's see. I believe I can as well. I see nothing to prevent me from doing it. So why don't we aim for the morning of the 15th, 9 a.m.?
Sure.
Does that work for you, Libby?
That does actually. That's perfect.
Okay.
Judy, will you send out the invite?
So it's 610 Salem Street.
That's correct. Right across the street from my office. So
Okay.
I can look at this from our building.
All right. So we'll plan for 9 a.m. Saturday, November 15th. We'll meet at, well, I guess it'll be, you tell us where we would meet at the site.
Well, you can
At the entrance
go
to the
right up
parking
into the
lot there?
parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, plan for that. Because I think that's the area we want to see, is the area around the snow storage in particular.
Right, it's all open.
Okay. So
Parking
this
area.
drawing that you're showing us right here it's on the screen right now is a drawing that was actually part of the original set approved by the commission as part of the order of conditions.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one was a later one that was approved by either the planning board or ZBA at a later date, so. But it's
Okay.
essentially similar design.
Okay.
But we can talk more about the snow storage and all.
Okay. If that's not a problem to delay this till our next meeting, we'll do this walk on the 15th. And then we can conclude, I would hope, at the meeting following.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, oh, sorry, if
Go ahead.
can I just Ethan, I think it would be helpful for us to just for our learning, sort of the guidance on these, if you can send us a little bit of reference information on, when the the
Yeah.
plans change
Yeah.
after the fact, right? And sort of what that process is.
Sure.
Thank you.
What are you asking for, Eleanor? Are you asking for information sort of on a process for how the designer or the owner would tell the commission that they changed things, or what?
Yeah, I'm just curious, not to put Libby on the spot, but normally like when you're changing a plan, you would go before the commission and do an amended order, or I guess there's like scope things, but I just was curious if you usually this is essentially an after the fact approval, right? For the changes.
I'm not sure. I mean, Libby's showing us this drawing that's in front of us right at the moment, which is, at least in relation to the snow storage and all, consistent
That's
with the as-built
right.
as well. So I don't think there's any change there.
Oh, okay. I guess I was looking at
Condition and the as-built. Am I correct on that, Libby?
Actually, as I was saying, there was this interim plan, between the, order of conditions, plan and the as-built. This is the 2021. It doesn't look, much different, except for the location of utilities and the sewer.
That was over, and that's over to the
That's over to the right.
the plan right,
Okay.
which would be
Correct.
okay.
they actually be on the west side of the building from
Right, and the changes to the, fire hydrant and everything.
okay, which is
Yes.
in the areas away from any area of our concern.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think
It was just for my learning, Paul.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no, that's fine.
Um,
Okay. So we'll
That's it.
plan to meet at the site on the 15th, and then we can decide if we're able to conclude at the following meeting
Yep.
on the 15th.
One more question about this. So looking at Ethan's summary for this, it seemed like there were fewer plantings, and part of the discussion I think was going to be about whether there are going to be more plantings going in to meet the stated number.
So, yes, there were questions, when Ethan, visited. I would like to, go to our landscape plans and show you the difference. So this is the landscape plan that was approved in the order of conditions. Oops. This L-shaped item is the building with the parking lot, in the front there. And they pear trees, along the side. But what we were focusing on were, there seemed to be fewer bushes on the rear side than were proposed. But I made a comparison. If you pardon me, I'm going to tell you the comparison. So this colored one is the one that was approved in the order of conditions. But during the approval process, there was another landscape plan drawn, which had not only the plantings for the buffer zone and riverfront area, but the plantings proposed for the landscape islands as well.
Along the street side of the project.
Correct. And I made a comparison that so this shows 15 shrubs in the back, and the actual landscaping only shows 6 shrubs. I think there are more than that, but that's what we show on the as-built plan. So there are fewer in the rear. On the
Which is the area we're most concerned about, since it's the area on the wetland side.
on the back side,
Yeah.
on the rear side, yeah.
Do you have any idea what led to the change there?
I have to say no. I mean, in comparing the 2 plans, the order of conditions plan and the later plan for the ZBA or building department, or whichever agency it was made for, they essentially took the design shown on the original plan, integrated it into the later plan, and added the front island plantings in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
But they didn't delete plantings in the rear, or did they?
they had plantings in the rear, but somewhat fewer. On the other hand, on the left-hand access way, let's see, there were 6 trees proposed, and there were 8 trees put in.
Is on the river side of the building.
And on the river side. Let's see. Yeah. So the 6 trees proposed were the 8 trees done. Let's see. And then the wildlife seeds. So there were more plantings along the riverside than proposed, versus fewer plantings in the rear. And
Wetland side.
the wetland side, yes. But I think it all came out pretty well. Plus, there were the extra boxwood and other landscaping bushes on the right side, so those were extra. So sort of balances it out. But we'll take a look at that when you come over.
Okay.
All the bushes looked nice and healthy and growing. The seeds are growing, so all the vegetation is in very good shape. But yeah, we can have discussions about the vegetation and the snow
I think
storage.
it's a combination of the vegetation and the snow storage, which are our primary concerns.
Yes, yeah, we can address that. And I'll bring the plans along, and we can see if anything needs doing, or you're good with it.
Okay. So we'll plan to see you on Saturday, the 15th.
Sounds good to me.
Anything else, commissioners?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, Libby, for taking us through that.
Thank you for
Ethan?
bearing with me.
Anything to add on?
It's not an easy site.
Well,
Oh, goodness.
it's certainly hard when we haven't been involved in the project at all.
I
Yeah,
know,
this
you're
one,
all
this one
new
goes
to
back
this.
to,
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. There's no, I don't think the info
no
on our website
continuity
goes
at all.
back that far anymore. So
I'm sure that Elaine.
couldn't look up
as
the
well.
minutes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You should have seen them put in the stabilizing pilings in the peat there. Oh my gosh.
Hmm,
It's like 20 pilings holding that building up.
really? Interesting.
Here.
All driven?
They did it in a new way. They it's sort of a vibrator. They drilled a very narrow portion, and narrow column, threw in stone, vibrated that stone, and that compressed down, and they kept putting stones in it and compressing it and compressing it and compressing it until it came up to the level they needed.
Hmm.
It's all very interesting.
So it's essentially compacted stone that provides the pilings.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
So I will see you on the 15th, and thank you for your patience.
Okay, thank you, Libby.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night. Okay. Next item on our agenda is to review and vote to issue the bylaw informational letter to the town council. I think we've gone through that and all had a shot at marking it up. Comments or?
Yeah,
questions?
I'd like to take one more look at it, if that's okay.
So you want to hold off until you've had a chance to go through it?
I just wanted to rephrase some things I sort of thought about this weekend.
Okay, well, if you
And-
do, send it around to the to
Ethan,
Jennifer, to
I could send it
Jennifer
to
and me, and so that we can have a look as well.
yeah.
Thank you. And then we'll get it on to Ethan and Judy and we'll make a decision to send it on at our next meeting, I guess. Okay. Draft wetland bylaw, we probably should leave that to last and deal with the other two matters. Follow up on town day sign up.
Can I make a suggestion that since Dee and Aaron are here, we can tackle their?
Yeah, well, I
That
was
matter.
going to say the town day sign up. I sent notes to folks who had indicated an interest in joining the commission. I got crickets for response.
Yeah.
So
I sent a few notes. But I didn't reach out to, I don't know if, I thought, was the plan going to be for Ethan to email people like there were sort of, it was groups organized.
I emailed all the people who had on our sign-in form indicated an interest in possibly becoming a member of the commission.
Right, but then there were other
And-
groups like Trail Stewards and
No,
Knotweed.
I hadn't seen those.
Yeah,
I reached out to a few, but like Paul said, he mentioned he had reached out to some. I did hear one person was interested in becoming a trail steward, so I'm talking to them now. But beyond that, I didn't hear anything else.
okay.
The nature of those days, unfortunately.
Well, I
Wanted-
think you,
Sorry, I just wanted to add, if you guys don't mind, I don't know if Dee has anything. We were just talking about that today. We were looking at our different boards and commissions and where there's vacancies. So we asked Jen McDonald with Ethan to repost the opening that you guys have. And I think we're going to put a poster up as well to try to get some
Or
folks.
openings that we have.
right.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I mean. The openings. Sorry, no, I didn't have the number that you have.
we lose anybody else, we won't be holding meetings. So, okay. Anything else on Town Day right now?
I think just making a plan to maybe divide up that list and follow up, like somebody do the trail stewards. I could do, you know, I could do knotweed, for example, and I don't know, Jennifer. But we can talk about that more at the end of
Okay,
this. Yeah.
all right.
Um,
Administrative and coordination matters. And that relates to Aaron's letter to, or email to us, suggesting that all communications with Ethan need to flow through me, which frankly seems a little excessive.
So I'll just give a backstory on that if you'd like. You know, I've served now on 2 or 3 different boards here. I've had conversations with other folks in town. You know, I've always been under the impression that when you have a board or commission, that the chair is the direct person that's giving the person that's giving directive towards town staff. And so, you know, now working closely with Ethan, and adding a little more support to him, I feel like there's been some blurry lines that have been going on. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate that's what's in our handbook. And so I think, you know, I think Ethan's there to offer assistance to all board members if you have questions about projects like the project that was just in front of us or any of those other projects. But I think when it comes to more directive, like Ethan, do this, that should be a consensus between all the board members and be coming from the chair. That's what my email was kind of explaining.
Sorry, can you explain that again? Because when you sent the letter, it sounded like a you know, like a no communication, like do not reply. Is that so? If Jennifer and I have questions
I think
between, well, so like in this example for this project, right? Normally, the agent is supposed to be like the ATM of technical information
Mhm.
because we can't talk to each other because it's a quorum of 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's okay to ask him questions.
When it comes to projects, yes, I think that's perfectly fine. And that's what I've seen with other boards. So again, questions on 610 Salem Street. Why is this? He can give you an exact answer. But I think where the lines are getting a little blurry is, I think just because it's a unique situation right now with the wetland bylaw where people may be telling him to do something, but not sure if it's a consensus of the group. That's where I think things can get a little
Can you
blurry.
give a specific example?
Sure. So last Friday, I think I said this in my email, you know, when there was an email that came through about things that were found on the website, which, you know, I think the staff didn't know that was there as well when it came to the wetland bylaw. I know there was an email that came to Ethan, who was out of the office that day because he went to a conference the next day, basically giving him direction on what to put on the website. But it wasn't clear and it was from the Conservation Commission, that wasn't clear if that was something in agreement from the whole board. So it wasn't a question, it was more of a direction. And it didn't come from the chair. So I think that's where I think the flow of communication should be.
Well,
So
in
Aaron,
this particular case, we were dealing with a situation where we had canceled the meeting scheduled for the 28th.
well, we didn't cancel it, right?
From my understanding, I thought there was a conversation, but I won't get into the nitty gritty.
We're a board, Aaron, we're a board of 3, right? So we have to take action to vote to hold a meeting. We take action to vote to schedule a meeting. We vote as a commission. So I threw out the suggestion, maybe we should reschedule. Let's talk about it at the next meeting. That's not a vote. And I'll be frank, I was a little unclear. Judy does scheduling for us normally. So
You know,
I-
I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus or I was.
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but just to explain, so when a person cancels a meeting, typically you want to cancel not just the Zoom link, but the link on the website that was created by that person, right? Because then you haven't completed the task.
Okay, well,
So that is correcting an error, I think. Do you think that's not appropriate to correct errors?
no, I always think it's appropriate to correct errors, absolutely. But I think where there was a mistake is I think there's two things going on here. We keep going back to someone canceling a meeting. I was made aware about a different conversation that went on, but that's not something I really want to talk about tonight. The second situation is here. I think from my understanding, it was brought up that it was canceled. The town staff thought that everything was removed that was, and I apologize if it wasn't. I think we all are allowed to make errors. We're human beings. And from my understanding, there was things on the website that maybe staff wasn't aware of as well, with other staff too, in here that we do communications with. So it was just, again, a misunderstanding, but there was messaging within the email that was sent. And again, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. You just asked for an example of what the conservation wants the website to say. And from my perspective, is that what all the Conservation Commission wanted? So that's my, that's a directive
Well,
under my impression.
ultimately, Paul was on it. I couldn't give the directive, right? Because I was getting on a plane, as I explained to you. I
Yep.
just said I identified a situation which needs to be remedied. Paul, Jennifer, can you step in and help Ethan? And as a courtesy, I gave Jennifer McDonald a heads up because that would be kind of an emergency situation for her. And thank goodness she, did the right thing. We didn't know Ethan was out and she escalated it to you and you were able to help Paul troubleshoot and come up to some solution. But we're a board of 3 people. So Paul's the chair.
Yeah.
I'm the co-chair. Jennifer's the member. If
Oh, yeah.
Paul,
Okay.
sorry, and I'm sorry I'm talking slow. I'm sick and feverish and haven't slept for days. And I'm just trying to get my thoughts out because I really do not. This was very hard for me to come and be at a meeting when I'm sick as a dog. But so I think it's, as co-chair that has status. And certainly I made Paul aware of the issue and it got resolved. I'm not seeing the issue. Now, I think we do function like that in our meetings. But
You
commission,
certainly do.
yeah, I don't think we're inconsistent. I'm not, I can't think of an example where anyone has assigned something that hasn't been discussed. The meeting minutes, we talked about the announcement, but certainly logistically, if you have, it's a triage situation, right? Mistakes happen and everybody just gets on board and tries to come up with a solution with whoever can put their heads together. It's about solving the problem. And if it's a last minute cancellation, then it's appropriate for an announcement to go out. I don't
Okay.
think
Yeah,
a reasonable person would object to that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I guess. Anyways, I just was asked for an example and that was just one. I know there's others that have occurred that I won't get into tonight. I am just going based off how I've seen other boards and commissions work. And just seems like it's been a little different just since I've gotten involved and worked with Ethan. And I think there's just been a few times that he's been pulled in different directions. And so I'm just trying to be a support system to him and streamline processes moving forward.
May I weigh in?
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective as the town administrator, to me, it's very important that my department heads know what their staff is being asked to do. And typically that is through the chair of whatever said committee is. So if it's the town council, if it's the conservation commission, if it's the rec department commission, if it's the, DPW advisory board, things flow through the chair so that my staff can then direct their people to do what is appropriate for that commission. So I don't think it's unreasonable for Erin as the department head in this department, which was formed in July, I think, Erin, is that correct?
Yes.
So the department was formed in July. And so she is now the supervisor for both Miranda and Ethan, that she is able to direct her people to do what they need to do. So I don't think it's unreasonable from a management standpoint and an efficiency standpoint for the chair to be the one who filters directives to the staff.
Dee, how does that work in sort of a emergency situation? I'm like enforcement orders and
So in an
you
emergency
know,
standpoint, if it's a board of 3, if it's a board of 15, it's the chair or the vice chair that then elevates that to the department head. I've
and
been
if
doing this for 27 years, and that has been the practice that I have always been under. And that's the expectation that going forward that I'm going to set for as we go through boards and committees, that it's an efficient way for us to do business, is that if the chair is unavailable on a plane, not feeling well, and thank you for being here when you're not feeling well, that says a lot about you, is that the vice chair then steps in and says, we need to get this emergency order out. I think that's absolutely reasonable.
well, typically it might be somebody who's pushing snow into a resource area, for example, because that's happened, and the agent has to get there promptly. And so, that call can come from anyone, right?
I understand,
Yeah.
but I think it's who the call goes to. I think if it goes to Erin, then she can then direct Ethan, because now I serve you 24/7, 365.
Mhm.
Not all of my people are on the same mandate, right? Ethan, Erin, they have lives outside of this. So that is why we have chains of command, right? So on a Sunday at 3 o'clock, I get a call from the police chief, I am on, right? So I don't assume that our staff is going to be there every single day of every single minute. People get sick, people have bereavement leave, people are entitled to vacation, right? So this is why Erin, as the department head, is now responsible for funneling the information. She may have to kick it back up to me to say, Dee, we need to get this done. That's my responsibility as the town administrator, to make sure that these things get done.
Jennifer, do you have questions?
Yeah, well, and I did read the email, but it's been about a day now, so I apologize. But so the request is for directives to go through Paul to Erin, or through Paul to Ethan.
I mean, I think I think Ethan is still your day-to-day, I think, contact. He's the subject matter expert when it comes to conservation work. I think we all know that. I think moving forward too, I think what we're saying is, any directives should be going through Paul. And Dee, maybe I'm misspeaking. You want them to come to me or to Ethan, just to make sure that any issues that then may arise, if it's an emergency, can get handled, say if someone's gone or out of the office.
Exactly. I mean, I'm used to communities with a lot more people in conservation, right? In communities I've worked in, there've been 3 or 4 people in conservation. So we're very lean here. So I think maximizing our efficiency is very important. And that's why I think it really makes sense for chair to Erin or again, Ethan, if it's a day-to-day question, what's happening with this? But if it's, we need to do X initiative, then I think that's where Erin needs to be involved, because I might have asked Ethan to do something on a project. And so he's only here 30 hours a week. He's not full time. So as much as I'd like to divide Ethan and conquer, we can't do that, right? So my concern is that we're maximizing staff resources as efficiently as possible. And to me, in my 27 years of doing this, it's always been a very clear chain of command. Now, I'm not saying none of you can call Ethan, none of you can ask questions of Ethan. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I want to, diminish transparency. The complete opposite. I want to increase efficiency. And I think that in my experience, in all of the time that I've been doing this is the best practice.
Well, I have a problem with the idea that all of these communications are going to flow through Erin. Ethan and I meet typically before the Tuesday meeting to go through the agenda. I don't think it makes a hell of a lot of sense to bring Erin into that conversation unless she's planning on monitoring the activities of the commission on a day-to-day basis.
And I
And if
don't
that's
think
the case, then that's fine. But then Ethan becomes kind of redundant.
I don't think I said every communication needs to come through Erin, Paul. So if you guys have an established agenda meeting, I have an established agenda meeting with Maureen as the council chair. That's not what I'm saying. So I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. If you have an established agenda meeting, please, by all means, continue to do that.
Well, so is it fair to say that anything that, like Paul or Ethan might consider to be sort of unusual or out of the ordinary might then go to Erin if it's, under those conditions?
I mean, I think that's excellent. That's an excellent way to put it, Jennifer, because Erin, as the overseer of the department, can then deploy whatever resources that she sees fit. So thank you for clarifying that for me.
I think it would probably be helpful if we came up with like a memorandum of understanding or something, because, I can think of, well, there's certain things when it comes to applicants and posting material, we can't talk to each other. Like I can't confer with Paul, for example, and say, the agenda is incorrect. This really shouldn't be a minor modification. It needs to be blah, 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 and it needs to be, it needs to be a public hearing, for example, right? If I have doubts about a project, so I think there are things like that, or timeliness of materials getting posted. I think certainly if we had like a service level agreement and agreed that, meeting materials will be posted at this time, on Fridays, that would certainly avoid some of my follow-ups or directives. But I think that's more like housekeeping.
And I am more than willing to meet with you guys and to sit down and to talk about what your expectations are for notification and what is reasonable. I mean, I think that is best practices. That is what I am used to. And I welcome that conversation.
I think also, Dee, I mean, just to give you a little background, the commission was this, Paul, you could probably talk to this more, was established in 1987. There really has never been involvement from outside staff involved in the commission. Steve Mayo never emailed or really interacted with us except on certain requests. Now, this last commission, we lost over a century of institutional knowledge since April of last year. Our chair of 40 years. And so we had a commission that had worked as a team together for decades, and people, had their own roles, and the full team interacted. But it takes time, for certainly a new chair and new people. We lost 100 years and a agent, sorry, our chair of 40 years, our agent of over 20 plus years, and now we have how many years collective, Paul? Probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, maybe 7.
7. So anyway, so what you're proposing is a change, but certainly other commissions, people had strengths and would work, the chair assigns. Paul, you as we're a regulating body, and so you can come up with a communication policy and assign, Jennifer is going to work on blah, blah, communications and website, or Eleanor is going to do, procedures or that type of thing. And you're going to work with, Ethan and prioritize. And we can certainly do things like at the end of every meeting, have Ethan, read off a task list of what we discussed, and then you can sit with Ethan and prioritize with him each week or every other week when you meet.
But I see this as a unique opportunity, right? You guys are new. I am very new. I'm not new to municipal management, but new to Wakefield. Ethan is a rising star in his profession. So I think I see this more as an opportunity where we can kind of turn this around. And I think getting more members on the commission is one of the priorities. And I know that Erin eloquently spoke to, we are doing a marketing campaign because not only this commission and board, but many, I think Erin, 30 openings?
Yeah, 30 or 40.
30 or 40 openings in our boards and commissions. So that's, to me, we need to focus on that, especially a commission like you that has a governing and a statutory obligation with the state. Is crucial that you guys have more than 3 members. So we are going to do a targeted campaign to get commission conservation people, but also the other boards and commissions that we're lacking people. I can't speak to past administration, but in my prior roles, I was very involved in popping in board and committee meetings. I think it's important that I know what's going on. I don't speak conservation. I'm learning so much. Ethan has been great in the past few weeks of helping me learn like what this is, because planning was not one of my departments that I oversaw in North Andover. But I see my role as being a conduit between you and the council. And I don't see a council member here as a liaison. So I am your liaison. And I seriously and genuinely feel that that is my role. And I want you to use me as that. But I strongly believe that my staff is doing the best they can with the resources that they have. So with that, I think that we can really make some awesome opportunities here.
Of course they are, Dee. I mean, that was honestly great that Erin and Jennifer stepped in, to fix that situation. Like, of course, that's what we all want. But certainly we can, Paul, we can come up with a emergency plan and make it clear to people, if you can't reach Paul, go to Eleanor. If you don't go, but that's why we send an email like that if it's an emergency. But we can certainly clear that.
Yeah, and I'm here to be a resource and support to, you guys as well, as much as I am, to Ethan. And Ethan, I won't speak for him, but is of course always, that's what, his job is to support the Conservation Commission.
So when you are going to, yeah, can you just describe like sort of your role as his manager, like how are you like managing him day to day? It's a little different than the model we've understood from the state. You know,
Maybe you can explain, maybe can I
No.
ask you
Sh-
like what you understand from the state, and then maybe
Well-
I can just fill in.
we'll focus on what's been done in the past. It was pretty much administrative. The conservation agent works for the commission and then reports to the town administrator. That's in our town charter. And that's typically with the state. So,
Is
and
it
typically
works for the conservation or supports the conservation?
they work for the conservation commission
I'll have to go back and check.
and
the
support us.
charter.
It's not bought, but the job description is, we can pull that up, but that is kind of a state designated thing. And that's, you know, that's, he's our statutory liaison, right? For the DEP.
Absolutely. I think I need to look that up because I think as the appointing authority,
Mhm.
I am the appointing authority to all of positions, including police, fire. So I think, yes, he is a liaison to you, but I don't think he's a direct report.
Oh, no, he's not a direct report. So
Okay. Thank you.
like timesheets, administrative vacation time, benefits,
Yes.
all that stuff. But it's
Absolutely.
more, you know, Paul would prioritize, for example, you know, work with him on the filings or prioritize projects with him, that type of thing, like
Right.
the
Absolutely.
work, like the inner workings of the commission. And
And
so,
again, I'm not disputing any of that. I'm just saying that we need to keep Erin in the loop so that if she's got something else that he needs to work on, that she is in the know.
sorry, something else like outside of Conservation Commission or?
Well, like, I know he has
Wetlands
meetings with
fire.
other departments and stuff. He meets with Bill to talk about some of the projects that are going on. I know you guys were working on the open space. He's working on that, could be working on something like that separately. But I mean, I think the point was having, if you look at other communities, a lot of them have like a land use and development. And I think alluding to what Dee was talking to is, now Ethan, Marissa, and myself are able to have conversations once a week and talk about these different projects that are going through the pipeline and all these different land use boards and have a better understanding of why one board's doing what. And I feel like that was something that was missing before. So there's also that addition as well.
I mean, to be frank, I think, I think we could use communication improvement because I think sometimes some of our work and our timing has not been appropriately communicated to other boards. So for example, Erin, you've sent a few memos, maybe like going forward, you could touch base with Paul and, see where we're at, for example, on issues and before you send memos.
Okay.
I mean, I think that would just be helpful. So like, other boards are getting accurate information, like,
Can you explain what you're talking about? Because I don't know what memos you're talking about. The only email I've sent you guys an email on the memo in August.
Sorry, not memos, communications. Like like planning board, we're going to town meeting. We weren't going to town meet. We have to vote as a commission to go to town meeting, that type of thing. So you're.
I didn't say that to anyone. I think it was brought up in meetings and people watch the meetings.
sorry, I was.
I'm
Mhm,
sorry, one of the things that I want to do that I've
mhm,
done in my other communities
mhm.
is have boards go before town council to talk about what they're doing, right? So in my prior community, and I don't want to say when I was in North Andover, but
Yeah.
that was my last professional assignment. When I was in North Andover, we would have commissions go in front of the Board of Selectmen, in this case, Town Council, to update them on what was happening. And I think that, Eleanor, is what you're speaking to, that other boards and other commissions know what you're doing. We had multiple board meetings. Conservation would meet with planning, would meet with zoning. So I think that is kind of the essence of what you want, is that we have these multi-board meetings where everyone kind of talks about what they're doing. So we're all on the same page and it's all transparent.
And that's something that's being organized right now, Dee,
Yes,
between ZBA, Planning Board, and Conservation.
nice.
Paul, I mean, I'll be honest, Dee, sometimes it's like this was a light meeting tonight. Usually they're 3 hours. And we work full-time jobs. So sometimes it's, there's stuff we would love to do, and certainly it will be a lot easier when we have more volunteers. Like it will be a lot easier to enhance communication and things like that. But it's going to take us a little bit of time. When you form teams, there's forming, storming, norming, performing. So we kind of need that space to sort of work through things. It's certainly challenging when you can't talk to your colleagues outside of a public meeting at all. I mean, this is a challenge that most boards don't have.
And I totally 100% respect that. And I respect what the three of you are doing. And I think that's why we need to get more members
Mm-hmm.
for you and to alleviate that stress and that strain for you. But I think that we can together do that. And I have all the confidence in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an eternal optimist. I'm sorry, I will say that right now. But I've been in this world a long time, and I've seen where people come together and it works. People divided and it doesn't work. So I really have a lot of faith in my team. I've adopted a fantastic team. I'm thrilled with the team I have here. And I know that we can do this. We just need to get more people so you guys can actually not have to be here at 9 o'clock at night. I was in the office at 7:30 a.m. I understand your volunteers and I deeply appreciate the time that you give to the town. I sincerely mean that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, Paul, do you have any questions?
No, I'm still dealing with just trying to understand
Yeah.
how the processes will change as we go forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Dee, I do think there's like a protocol that usually happens when there's a conservation commission is organized onto another board. Like we didn't receive an official communication from the town administrator of the department organization.
Yeah, and I will.
But
I wrote myself a note to look into that. That happened before I got here,
yeah,
so I will absolutely look into that, and I will get you an answer. I promise.
that would be great. Yeah, like the date and and then sort of outlining that, and then we have to talk about it more. I think as a commission of how we're. I think this is a lot to process. It's certainly a change, but yeah, I have to look into it. I thought there was a formal process, kind of notification process with the state, and then certainly looking at the town charter as well.
Understood. I will absolutely look into that for you.
then I guess we'll look for that.
Mhm.
Anything else, Eleanor? This one?
Jennifer?
Jennifer? All right, I'm gonna suggest we move on.
Yeah.
We still may want to talk about the wetland bylaw, or at least determine whether we're going to do it tonight or
Just sign.
schedule something to go on further.
This, it would actually, this is not, kind of a, sorry, but, I can't stay on for a long discussion about the bylaw. I'm traveling
Then
early
I
tomorrow
think we
morning.
probably wanna
So,
move it off to another meeting.
Yep. Can I make a suggestion though for
Mhm.
the bylaw? Jennifer, so I circulated the last draft. I know you have been doing all this research on the vernal pools and the isolated wetlands. Do you want to take would you want to update that section and then kind of see if it flows through? Not, I just feel like I'm kind of holding things up on that
I
part.
can definitely take a look at it. I'm having trouble right now with my laptop where it's not easy or it's not possible for me to share my screen with my laptop. So
Yeah.
I don't think I can be the person doing that in the meetings. I'll look it
You can
over. I
send it
know
to me
that,
and I can do that, Jennifer.
Yeah.
okay. And
Well-
I know that vernal pools are on the agenda for our next our next meeting, which is in like 2.5 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll look over what we have. I definitely want to, try to do some more kind of research into that, but I will be traveling much with this week. So, yeah, our next meeting is the 21st, I think.
Yeah. I think for me, I thought it helped just even putting in, like your ideal sort of what you think you'd want it to say, and then we could, in a draft and then circulate it. And then if you want Paul to share or whatever, we can go from there. Cause it's just very difficult to try to, make those decisions during
Yeah,
the
it's
meeting.
hard to write
It's-
draft in real time.
Exactly. Just have like,
Mhm.
and then I mean, I'm happy to look at the exemptions some more. You know, uh, and then Ethan, can I work with you on those exemptions?
Sure. It might be best to wait till the 21st
Yeah,
to get too much set, but definitely, yeah.
yeah, I want, yeah, so that's fine. I think, yeah, let's just, I have to get back to work, unfortunately.
Well, then I suggest we adjourn.
Adjourn.
So take a motion for two.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Thank you.
You're seconding it, Eleanor?
Oh, sorry, second.
Thanks. All in favor, Jennifer?
Yes.
Eleanor?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so we are adjourned. Our next meeting is 2 weeks from tonight on the 18th, but we also have the 15th for a site visit at 610 Salem Street. And then we meet again also on the following Friday for an hour to try to get through some additional bylaw language. And I agree with you both. Let's try to do the drafting outside and come to terms with what we've drafted.
Yeah.
In these meetings, so they're more efficient and we don't end up dragging them on forever. All right, we're done
Thank
for
you.
today.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Paul.
Have a
See
great
you.
night.
Bye.
Good night.